We were maybe it was a question.
Okay. Listen, I understand.
But anyway, we were curious about how often you two will perform together.
It varies. You never know. It's been at where we've been averaging probably once or twice every couple of months or something like that.
Yeah. So you don't tour regularly?
No.
Yeah.
He does his thing, and then we do some stuff together, and then I've got a trio that we do, and then big band and all this stuff.
Well, I heard you were playing in Washington coming up.
Yeah, tomorrow.
You're coming up tomorrow. Tomorrow night. Is that you and John?
Me and John.
Okay, and then in March with the
Bluegrass album band.
Yeah, the Bluegrass album. Me and Tony Rice and Sam Bush, and there'll be some different ones.
Oh, so it won't be the one just necessarily the ones that.
I don't think it'll be all of them. I think JD will be there, JD Crow, but Sam I think will be the only different one.
Yeah.
Okay, we have a few questions about the history, your background.
My background?
Yeah.
Oh, Lord. How was that?
Oh, okay. Well, we were just curious about since you did the first Will the Circle being broken, if that had any influence on like your studio performance and stuff.
Well, not necessarily my studio performance. I was doing studio work, but it had something to do with my dates, like show dates and things like that.
Influenced that more.
Yeah, made people know more about me. I wasn't very well known. I was just like a studio musician or playing with somebody else, and this, that, and the other. But that really helped me on as far as people knowing who Vassar Clements was.
Yeah. How did you get involved with that project?
I think Earl Scruggs. They talked to Earl Scruggs, and I was playing with him some, and they asked him if he knew a fiddle player to do this thing with him, and he recommended me.
Well, was your background's with the bluegrass mostly to start with? It seems
yeah,
like.
it's with bluegrass to start with. I grew up kind of with big band sounds,
Right.
but I listened to bluegrass, and I love bluegrass, and so that's the first thing I guess I started playing.
But now your style.
Well, in the
style
back of my
varies.
mind, of my mind, big band. The big band era is still there, and I still hear things from back there, and I guess that's the reason I love rhythm. I don't know how to explain it. I love a full band.
Like a drums?
Yeah, I like all of it,
Yeah.
but it's got to be together. Drummer's the hardest thing in the world to find, one that can really keep time and everything.
Really?
It's the hardest thing in the world.
It seems like that would be the major.
No, a lot of drummers, but hardly ever you find one that wants to stay on top of the beat.
Yeah. We were talking about different kinds of music, and Jan and I were talking about your album you did with Stephen Kelly, and we're just curious about how that came to be and who chose the songs that you performed.
A friend of mine from Athens, Georgia. His name is Tim Yoquinta. He knew Stephen and he knew me, but me and Stephen only spoke once in our lives. I saw him once, and he got us together, and he picked the material and everything, and it was his project all the way through.
And where did you record it?
At a studio I used to own in Nashville, or in Mount Juliet, Tennessee. Swanee. It's called Swanee Studio now.
So you're not involved with the studio?
No, we let it go. We sold it.
We were also talking about that you don't perform at very many bluegrass festivals.
They said they kind of disowned me when I started playing. But see, I played with so many different kinds of bands. I played with the Grateful Dead. I played with Dickie Best. The Allman Brothers, and I played with so many different ones, from the rock field to the swing field, and so the bluegrass people the dyed-in-the-wool bluegrass people kind of disowned me.
A lot of traditions.
Yeah, they even though I could still do that, they said, well, Vassar's been doing this other stuff. We don't want to get him. I think that's the way it works. Anyway, I wasn't called for it.
Maybe it's changing a little bit now.
I think
it's
so.
not such hardcore tradition.
Maybe so, I hope.
Yeah.
Because it all fits together if people would just let it.
You think the fact that you recorded with the Bluegrass Album Band is going to change that?
I think that'll help me because they'll know that I can still do that, you know. I mean, I always felt that kind of music, but the thing of it is, I want to do everything I can, you know, do everything. I hate to just stay in one thing, and, you know.
So do you like performing with before a live audience? Is that preferable to recording?
Yeah.
Get a lot of feedback. It's more exciting.
Yeah, I think I could, if I would let myself and go downtown and let them know I'm in town and all like that, I think I could do a lot of recording. But I would rather play to live audiences, you know, like this.
Well, this article's going to be for a Swedish magazine. And we're just curious if you're going to be doing any European touring.
I would love to. I just don't really know how to. I don't know who to see. I don't know who to talk to. I tell you what we did do. We've got a thing into the government of the United States to Washington D.C. to try to get a worldwide tour for a history of music. Like we want to take the music and like have workshops and explain it, every instrument, where it started, and this, that, and other. And they were supposed to meet the 13th of this month, which was, what, 2 days ago?
Yeah.
And hopefully I'll hear from them. And it might happen that we can do that. I hope so anyway.
Who would that involve?
Well, I just have to pick the musicians that I thought could go back that far and really tell the history.
Like starting with string band music?
Like starting with a banjo, like starting with a guitar. You can tell about that. You can tell about the fiddle. I think I'm old enough to tell about the fiddle. And like piano, if we had that. You know, just kind of have workshops and things like that. And then have concerts too. I don't know if they'll do it or not, but I've got a good feeling about they might do it.
Well, I know you're ready to pack up. We don't keep you too long. We appreciate you talking to us.
All
Right.
Can you tell me about how did you get involved with the Bluegrass Album Band and the recording?
Oh, well, I've been knowing those guys since they was that high. You know, I mean,
they just called you.
Yeah, we just grew up together. You know, I mean, I get called for that kind of stuff all the time. David Grissman calls me. You know, I mean, that's the way I started working with rock bands and stuff like that. They call me. And I said, well, I don't play rock. They said, yeah, you do. And it was that type of thing.
So, and growing up, I guess you listened a lot to Chubby Wise?
Yes, he was my idol. I thought he was the greatest to still do. I think he could get more tone out of a fiddle than anybody in the world.
Okay. Well, you have a very distinctive style.
Well, I had to teach myself. I didn't have anybody to show me. I didn't have anybody to look at. I didn't have anybody to show me. I didn't have anything to go by except what I hear on Saturday night over the radio.
Would Bill Monroe teach you?
No. Well, he helped me after I started playing there.
Yeah.
But
so, also, what kind of fiddle do you play?
it's a Doofenpruger. A guy by the name of Doofenpruger and Theresa is the one that made the fiddle. A German and a Frenchman.
Do you know about it? How old it is?
It's supposed to be over 300 years old.
Okay.
Well, I like that question. We ought to just. Oh, I want to ask you this. Sign this T-shirt.
That Japanese guy out there.
That's
what I thought.
He is great. Yeah, that Japanese. Yeah, I went over and played in Japan here not long ago, and they had these posters made up of this thing here. I said, that's great. I mean, somebody that can draw like that.
Yeah.
That's terrific. I love it.
Can I get you to sign this?
Yes, sir. I don't have.
I get here. Use this one.
Is that a ballpoint?
It's a felt tip.
Oh.
Let's
Is that
see.
okay?
Let me see if I can find a ballpoint.
Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead and ask me.
Okay, well,
Do you have a certain strategy in creating a break for a song? I mean, do you when you decide to play a break on the song, do you?
No, I don't know.
You don't.
I
Do you
don't
listen?
really know.
Do you listen to the words? Do you pay attention to the lyrics?
I try to find out
I mean,
the
if it's-
overall melody. I don't hear the words. I try to figure out the overall melody and try to go with the melody. You know, and hope I'm hitting the right place. I don't really know, and I never know how it's gonna come out.
I'm about to bother you for sign a picture for me.
Is that the parody? No.
For Mike.
Yeah. Where can you get pictures?
Hey, Mike.
Well, I get one because I'm promoting, but
They got some.
Mike has one.
That's what I didn't.
We would like one for the magazine if it's possible.
Or would your friend showing some of
Yeah,
it?
if you'll talk to that Japanese guy out there.
Yeah, I just didn't see any pictures when we were up there.
Thank you.
Listen, you have my phone number and everything?
I think that's.
I need to get that.
Be sure. Yeah, okay. Is this the one? Yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna. Nobody will ever mistake that sorry writing, so that I did.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, that's signed the article already.
You wrote it? It almost go blank.
Y'all gotta come back.
I'm either
and
getting
visit.
old or I can't remember
great.
anymore. One of the two.
Y'all gotta
Thanks,
come
Jeff.
back and sit and play for us again.
I want to. I really do.
All right.
Thank you.
Nice. Thanks for talking with me.
Jeff, thanks.
Can,
Take it easy.
Can I ask
Okay.
one more question?
Yes, sir.
What are your plans for the near future?
That's what I wished I knew. See, musicians never. I don't know.
What are you going to be doing this summer?
Well, if this world thing, if this overseas things come through, I'll be doing that for quite a bit of the time. And me and Grisham are supposed to do some things together. Me and McEwen is still doing some things together. And hopefully I'll do something with my band. So if I can, I'm going to stay busy. I don't know. I really don't know where it's going to wind up.
Okay.